Welcome on into a live edition of Falcons Today, and it is Punishment Day for the Atlanta Falcons and myself for predicting that Dallas Turner, Bill Belichick, and Justin Fields would all be Falcons. So, kind of a double whammy today, which actually makes it really perfect. And this is how I know that Roger Goodell is a subscriber and watches the channel, because he gave the Falcons a punishment for tampering, allegedly, with Kirk Cousins, Darnell Mooney, and Charlie Werner. But it was only a fifth-round draft pick, $250,000 in fines to the team, and $50K to Terry Fontenot. So, all things considered, we're laughing because a fifth-round draft pick is kind of a drop in the bucket, and Mike Florio is flipping tables because he wrote, essays about how Atlanta should basically lose its entire franchise, and everything they've ever accomplished, including, say playoff wins, should go over to the Minnesota Vikings. I think he would like to reverse the Michael Vick overtime touchdown run. So, we're watching Falcons today, and it is Punishment Day. So, we're going to get to the punishment menu, I guess we can call it, since that's such like a chat sports jargon. But get in the comment section right now, shout out your city, and then producer Reed will throw up our 5 ways to punish Petey for getting Dallas Turner wrong. So, Reed, throw that on screen after we get some cities going in the chat right now. Let me know where you are tuning in from. The Better Man platform, oh man, this is really happening. You have to take unlimited shots. So, here, fix that one right there, Reed, and then we'll throw it on screen. Do you see it? Okay. So, I've got Archangel tuning in from McDonough, Georgia by way of College Park. Blake is watching from Ontario, Canada. Marcus is in Georgia. Tyler is in Bismarck, North Dakota. DeAndre Pierce, wish I could help you, Petey. I also wish you could help me, because this is kind of a weird punishment where if you describe it to someone, it doesn't sound like a punishment at all. But once we'll be in the middle of it soon, it's going to feel like a punishment. So, Time Man the Buckeyes watching from Ohio. Nathan's in Texas. Amarillo. I've got South Carolina from Trey. Jordan is in Iowa. Cade is in Jacksonville. Well, was in Jacksonville, now in Waco. Really poor one out for Clayton, or for, Cade, for living in Waco. Travis in Atlanta. Grand Limousine, longtime viewer of the channel. Here is the punishment menu. Should we show him? So, if you were a little unfamiliar, I'll just give you the shortened version. I may have said at one point that Justin Fields is a Falcon. And then I may have followed that up by saying Bill Belichick is a Falcon. And I may have said, enough is enough. I am absolute about this one. Dallas Turner is a Falcon. Turns out, Steelers, unemployed, Vikings. So, this is the punishment menu. If you spam tomatoes in the chat for me being a fool, it's a shot of beer, which I know sounds a little pussyish, if we're being honest. But if you've ever done a happy hour before, or power hour, I should say, you know that shots of beer can quickly start to stack up on one another. Every 5 subscribers we add, by the way, is another shot of beer. Every 20 likes, we're at 25 right now, it's a shot of beer. Every super chat, no matter the amount, is a shot of beer. Remember, that's a weigh-in 3-2, Reed. And every $10 super chat is a shot for our producer, Reed Barkus. So, I already see a handful of tomatoes in the chat, so I'm already behind. So, give me a moment while I start catching up on all the shots that I owe. By the way, we've got these little mini boots here. I thought they would be cute because this is what Kyler Murray drinks out of. So I thought, you know what? Desmond Ridder, he's backing up Kyler. Maybe he'd like to have a mini boot. So I think this first one just goes out to me being a doofus and going 0 for 3 on the biggest predictions of the offseason, which I'm not embarrassed about. Move it to full. I view this as a badge of honor of, you know what? If you're going to swim in the deep end, you're going to drown every once in a while. So, cheers to Justin Fields going to Pittsburgh. Oh boy, the tomatoes. I might have not thought that one through. This is for Bill Belichick being on his couch. And this last one, and most importantly, I don't know Terry Fontenot's middle name, but if I did, I would say Terry. I'm going to guess it. Someone fact check me. Terry Arnold Fontenot for passing on Dallas Turner. Bottoms up. Okay, So the tomatoes are coming in a lot. This was a bad idea. I underestimated you guys. We've already got 100 people watching me right now. So, Steven, for your tomatoes. Joe Z with tomatoes. What was I thinking with the tomatoes? Who else had tomatoes? Lil Monty. Well, I see your tomato, Kyle Lindley. I will add, I was a good man today. I did not. Well, I drove to work, but I picked up a DD for the way home. Someone who usually walks, so they'll just drive my car back to my apartment. Okay, Kyle Lindley had tomatoes. We also got a super chat from Grand Limousine coming on screen right now. Reed, do you want to read this one out loud while I take down some boots? Everyone give it up for Reed. He's been on the brunt end a lot of my frustration today, like a middle-aged dad. So shout out to Reed for being a trooper. Grand Limousine, thank you for the super chat.
Grand Limousine. I've only been on a couple live shows for the Falcons, but
this is a shot for you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting out of it, Buster. Just get a paper towel for like the little drippage.
Yeah.
We're clean adults here. Time Man the Buckeye, I see your tomatoes. I don't know how far we'll get in this show. And we're at 20 likes, so that's another 2.
Grand Limousine, we appreciate you coming on the stream. Like I said, I've only been on a couple streams for the Falcons, but I know you're always in here. You're always supporting. I love it.
The last one was Time Man. This is to Peter Griffin. I owe Marcus Simmons one. Okay. We have some content to get to, and I don't know if that's going to happen, if I'm being honest. Cheers to, who was it? Marcus Simmons. Hit spacebar.
I'm
there he is.
Petey.
Yeah. This is going to be... Why is there like... Is there 2 of me on screen right now?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was like, why? How did you get 2 of me on? Oh, I see what you did. Okay.
Yeah, it's
yeah. That's fine. I was like, why do
first,
I was like, I'm not that fat. That was my first thought. Was like, fuck. Like, I've been walking to work a lot lately. I've been eating right. I had salmon for dinner last night.
No,
I had salmon.
It's my first time using the
double
screen.
Yeah.
So, guys, I'm still new. So,
that's all right. Oh, a $10 super chat. This is a producer shot.
This is for me.
That's for you. We got feisty Falcon fan, producer shot. Can't forget, can't do it alone, Pete. Yeah, I appreciate it because this is going to be an uphill battle. I am walking uphill both ways to school, basically. Okay, here we go. Steven, eat poo for punishment. I think Steven is just getting out of 2nd or 3rd grade class today. Here we go. Okay, it's 47 likes. What did I say? Every 25 likes? Yeah.
So.
Let's throw the menu back on, or the punishment list, I guess, to remind anyone that just tuned in. So, if you don't understand what's going on, someone in the chat explained, but I may or may not have once said Dallas Turner's a Falcon. He's a Viking now. I hope Dallas Turner's watching. Can we please send this to Dallas? Why didn't I think of that earlier?
Should.
I need Dallas Turner to come across this, and I think he'll actually take a little bit of joy in it because, you know, players get like, they passed on me, hate them forever. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I remember all the receivers that went before me. Yeah, one of them was Jamar Chase, so probably a okay decision by the Bengals. That always grinds my gears. But this is the menu. If you go to the sub counter graphic, we can show everyone what we're at subscribers wise. So if you're already subscribed, send this to a friend or family member. That's perfect. And if we can get up to 22,140, that's another shot. So here we go. Zach Anderson with some, what fruit is that? Tomatoes. Okay. I like tomatoes. Ed Garrett, what's going on, Ed? Petey, hang in there. I am sympathy drinking with you on vacation in Destin, Florida. This is why I like doing this on like a Thursday, because Friday you guys probably have much better plans than to hang out with me. But Thursday is kind of in that, whoa, like it's kind of the weekend almost, so why not start it early? Jack Piazzi with some more tomatoes. The fact that I'm already having a little bit of Alzheimer's to what fruit that is,
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what we're going to get at in 30 minutes.
When I saw that you had the tomatoes in there, I said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Good thing you brought the DD.
Nah, my bright. It sounded like it wouldn't be that big of a deal this morning. We got Nucci Dadon. Akuna Matata. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that, Nucci. Cheers to Ronald Acuna. He could use one of these right now. I feel bad for him. All right, here we go. Cheers to Nucci. Okay, different question. Worst miss that I had. This is the roast of Matthew Peterson, essentially a YouTube version.
I guess so.
Yeah. Worst miss. Bill Belichick, Justin Fields, or Dallas Turner. Let me know in the comment section right now.
I'll shout some of you guys out. Owen saying Justin Fields. See, I thought Justin Fields was going to go to the Falcons as well.
So I do want to slight out with the Justin Fields one because I felt like that was very likely with Arthur Smith as the head coach. Like Arthur Smith always had a bit of a mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill was like sneaky fast for being a white quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brings in Marcus Mariota to Atlanta, right? And then he goes and gets Desmond Ridder, who isn't the fastest guy in the world. But so I was like, oh, Fields would be on the market. That's kind of a perfect marriage. So I get kind of a slight out for this one because there was a material change. Belichick is this one's just bullshit, right? Actually, this is the biggest load of crap right here, Dallas Turner. I did the research. No player outside of the top 5 was mocked more consistently to a team than Dallas Turner to the Falcons. That one is not on me. Thank you very much.
That's the.
We're having a lot of it. You want some? Our Celtics host stopped by to refill because I'm already out of my first beer. And she's like, it smells like beer in here. I'm like, it's going to smell a lot worse a little bit. Michael Humphrey, cheers.
I see Nick said Dallas Turner. Archangel said Dallas Turner.
I think it's Dallas Turner.
It's got Ryan, Clayton. Blake said Fields for sure.
This one goes to Harry Azrak.
Kyle said Belichick.
The thing with Belichick, and this one kind of grinds my gears, is the working theory is that the Falcons didn't hire him because people in the front office kind of pressured Arthur Blank. I said Arthur Smith on my video earlier. I called Arthur Smith a billionaire, which, by the way, he kind of is because of his dad. So that's factually not wrong, I think. But I don't think he's a billionaire. But, I mean, they peer pressured Arthur Blank into not hiring Bill Belichick because they felt like Bill Belichick would clean house. That's a horrible way to run an organization. Like, you've got a group of people that have contributed to nothing but losing the last 5 years. And here comes an applicant that's going to say, hey, I want to turn things around and win, but that's going to come at the price of change in the front office. And they're like, no, don't hire him. Like, what's best for you or what's best for the Falcons? Because the fans should want what's best for the Falcons. So that one really, grinded my gears. The Turner one, hands up, just got it wrong. No other way to put it. Nucci with another $2 super chat. That's another beer shot, which is kind of funny because he says, I feel sorry for you. But if he felt sorry for me, I don't know if he would super chat because that has just led to another shot. Dylan, I see your tomatoes. Here we go. Cheers. Let's just kind of run through, Mr. Reed, some of the graphics we've got for the tampering, the team cards, stuff like that, because there's 2 punishments today. There's me and there's the Falcons, who were stripped of a 5th-round draft pick. So we got some supporting, like, kind of B-roll graphics we can kind of just show on screen. We broke it down in a much more sober and detailed version earlier. Yeah, I like that a lot. This one goes to, who do I owe? Lil Stem MC. You're next, mister. It's starting to add up. Have you guys ever done a power hour? Did you ever do power hours in college, Reed? Power hours?
Yes and no.
You know what they are?
Remind me.
Power hours are 60 shots of beer in 1 hour.
Oh, no. We
Yeah.
did not do that.
It was a shot of beer every minute, which sounds kind of simple because you're like, a shot of beer.
Yeah, you're like, wow,
That's
fine.
like a little baby beer. Like, that's
Yeah.
nothing. No.
It adds
Quickly because what happens is the moment you fall behind by just 1 minute, where you're like, that last one kind of hurt, I need a breather. Now you're behind 2 shots, 3 shots, and it can get out of control quickly. We got Jack Piazzi and Atlanta Dog with some super chats. Oh, Nelly. Okay. Every super chat's another shot. Jack, thoughts on Harrison Hand edition? I could use a hand right now drinking. That's what I think about it.
We'll get to the Harrison Hand edition in one of our segments as well.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Another
Atlanta
one from
Dog,
Atlanta
bottoms
Dog.
up, Petey. I do feel the need to say this. I said it earlier, but I just think in this climate, I am not driving home after this. I have already picked up my DT on the way to work. So I don't want anyone thinking like the worst is going to come out of this. No. We're going to have fun, but we're not going to, be a disaster. Atlanta Dog, bottoms up. Bottoms up, buddy. You ever have a sip? Maybe it's just a me thing. And it's kind of like sometimes this happens a lot in the summer when you're on the beach, when you get to the bottom of your beer and it's kind of warm at the bottom. And you're like, I think I might throw up if I drink that part.
No.
I've already gotten to that stage. Reed, it's been 22 minutes.
Yeah. And we got to get through segments.
We have to do my job. Peter Griffin, to asking for the live in the comments every video. I like the engagement. I'm a sucker for it. Peter Griffin, cheers to you. Favorite Family Guy moment, everyone? Do you have one, Reed? For me, it is when they went to the North Pole. That's a good one. When they went to the North Pole and they discovered like how the elves are like inbred.
Oh my
And
god.
they go and deliver one present, takes them 2 hours, and Stewie's like, "This is no longer a present. This is a home invasion." Peter Griffin, cheers to you.
And
Taylor LOL, a longtime viewer. Good to see you, Taylor. I feel like all the OGs came out for this show. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the red carpet.
yeah,
Like,
they were waiting for it.
The big usual suspects are here. We have Falcons content to get to today. I don't know if anyone's interested in Harrison Hand signing.
I think they're just interested in what's going to happen at the end of the stream.
Taylor,
we do have a dinner to go to.
Yeah, we have like a company like gathering, we'll call it, for one of the new guys joining. He's in town, so my boss is like, "Let's do it today." I was like, "Oh, what a great time to be hungover!" Like, nice to meet you. I'm Matthew. Taylor, what's your post-chat sports meal? Varies day to day. Tuesday I host trivia, which means Tuesday is usually. This is why I got self-conscious when you had 2 of me on screen earlier. It's my drive-through at Wendy's night.
See, that's once a
That's
night,
one,
though.
and also I have been tapered off by a lot. Like I go once a month at this point
we
now.
play basketball. That's
We play,
some good
yeah.
cardio.
But no, I've been doing a lot better of cooking at home. I like cooking salmon.
I love salmon.
Yeah, it's really kind of it's delicious. You toss it in the fridge, in the oven for a little bit.
Yeah.
Salmon's a go-to of mine. I mean, I like all food. Like I do like a lot of variety. I think there are some people that like to go to their same favorite spot pretty routinely.
Mm-hmm.
I like to switch it up a lot. That's just kind of my eating habits. JT ATL with tomatoes. Oh, I never took this last one for Taylor. I poured
we're
it.
getting a couple more.
Oh, they keep coming.
Here, we'll get to this next one.
Yeah.
Another one.
One more for the House of Atlanta. I gotta rewatch. My girlfriend's going on a 2-week vacation. I say girlfriend, fiance.
I'm gonna do one for Petey.
That really means a lot, actually.
I can't do math very well, but there's a bunch of $2 ones coming in.
I think we're actually
probably
decently
at
on
10.
pace right now. Lil Stempsy, I said tomatoes. You put tomatoes. I take a shot. Nucci, one more for the House of Atlanta. Did you watch Game of Thrones at all?
So I watched the first 2 seasons, or season and a half.
You stopped?
The incest was getting a little.
That's the best parts. Titties. Oh, I love. Dude, watching Game of Thrones was a little bit like.
It's a very you have to sit down and watch. And
Yeah.
It's very. I'm thinking of the word of.
I had a summer job before my freshman year of college. I not by accident, by design, I like stopped it with like a month before college started.
Yeah.
So I could maximize like my summer.
Oh, there you go.
And so I would sleep in till like 10 a.m., go to Chipotle, get a bowl, come home and watch 4 hours of Game of Thrones.
See,
and I just crushed it.
I don't have a ton of like time just to sit down and watch like
once you
and really get into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe with this off season,
Summertime,
I'll be able to get into it. This is a good super chat from Rydell.
If this is the most successful vid, you have to do it weekly. Dude, it might be. We're at $50 in super chats. Boss is going to be like, wasn't really happy with the process, but happy with the sausage at the end. So, how about this, Rydell? I think this is a much more fair agreement deal. I'll continue making bold predictions, and this can be just the routine punishment, right? Like, I'm not going to ever hide away from giving out a big prediction because let's all be honest, like, there are a lot of you, and maybe you're not watching, those of you that were clowning on me for getting the Dallas Turner and other things like that wrong. But would you rather have a Falcons host who's got a spine and is willing to give an opinion, or someone who's like Switzerland going like, maybe they'll take Dallas Turner? Like, no. Let's just nut up and say he's a Falcon. Plus, if we're power ranking all 32 NFL teams, blank, like, name is a mascot, Falcons top 5. Like, it doesn't hit the same when it's like he's a commander. Like that doesn't sound right. No. He's a Ram. I don't like that at all.
He's a Falcon.
Falcon's like, oh fuck, he's a Falcon. What can we say? Did I take that? I keep pouring in them. I don't remember if I even. Okay, cheers to Rydell. Here we go. Archangel with a $5 super chat. Can you read it, please?
The best part of waking up is beer in your cup. Wait, the best part of waking up is beer in your cup. Cheers, Petey. Pete, rise up.
What song is that?
That's Folgers.
I'm not a big country music
aficionado. It's a theme song.
Oh, it's a theme?
A coffee.
The I know what you're talking about. I was like, they kind of sounded like a ringtone too.
Yeah.
Archangel, good pop culture pickup there. Archangel, cheers to you. Rise up, buddy. Here we go. Okay.
He lied.
Nucci Didon. I lied. Take another one. LOL. Who would you draft with our first and second round picks? Okay, good questions. They still have them, so just woohoo. I've done very soft research for next year's draft. How about I'll tell you what positions I think they could very likely target. Round 1 next year, if they don't extend A.J. Terrell, will be a cornerback. It doesn't matter how bad edge rusher is. There's just no way they don't take a cornerback if they don't lock down A.J. Terrell. I can't tell you in my half-drunken state right now, or buzz state, I should say, what cornerback would be the best wherever they're picking next year. That's just impossible. So I'd say cornerback and edge rusher are still the biggest needs for next year's draft. Did I take? No. Nucci, cheers to you. Here we go. That's one for you, buddy. I'm off. I'm not doing the gritty. You guys are pushing your luck right now with me, okay? That one's for Reed. Zytek, I know you already projected, but what's your projection right now for the Falcons' record? 10-7. I really do believe it. I think Kirk Cousins with Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, a really easy schedule, the NFC South, and a defense that in June we can talk ourselves into. There's a good chance by October we'll be at each other's throats over this defense. But for now, I'm going to go with 10-7 for the Atlanta Falcons, which, by the way, Reed, I don't think you had started yet, but while I did get the Bill Belichick, Justin Fields, and Dallas Turner predictions wrong, when I did my regular season schedule prediction for 2024, I love doing this for myself and for other people. I looked at my regular season projections for last year in the Falcons. I started off 9-0. So
pretty good.
You guys can make fun of me for being wrong on Dallas Turner. I predicted the first 9 games of the schedule correctly last year, and I had them going 7-10. So, or 8-9, but still, I was maybe one off. Okay, Atlanta Dog. Petey, give us a bold prediction for next year's 5th round pick. Bold prediction is there will be no next year's 5th round pick. I'll give you a bold prediction for the Falcons this year. I will say that Bijan Robinson finishes second in rushing yards behind Christian McCaffrey. The state of the running back class right now is not really good. Like, it's full of ooh, didn't realize he was that high up of a running back this year, right? Last year, are you ready for this, Reed? Your number 1 rusher last year, Christian McCaffrey, no real surprise. Number 2 was Derrick Henry, which that's not a surprise, but the surprise is he was second with 1,100 yards. And then 3rd was Kyron Williams. 4th was James Cook. 5th was DeAndre Swift. The 5th leading rusher last year had 1,049 yards. I don't think it's too tough for Bijan to go from 976 to 1,200. And 1,200 last year would be second and by 37 yards, or 33, I can't do the math right now, by a lot of yards. So Bijan will be second in the NFL in rushing next year. I think Christian McCaffrey wins back-to-back rushing titles. Atlanta Dog, cheers to you.
I also think...
You can throw that on screen.
Oh. PD, give us a bold... Wait. Say, what did you ask?
I'm sorry. I'm slurring my words. You can put this on screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of view this as a, background.
Yeah, well, I figured we mentioned, the non-existent 5th-round pick. So
yeah.
Remind everyone, the Falcons were stripped of their 2025 5th-round pick. Team was fined $250,000, and Terry Fontenot was fined $50K. Cousins, Mooney, and Werner tampering. So, like we said earlier in the video, sort of a sigh of relief. It's over. It happened. We knew it was coming. It was like that thing looming in the back of our heads.
Right.
What's going to happen? Is it true? Is it not? And now it is, and we're fine.
Yeah. Let's throw up the live sub counter. Let's see where we're at. We needed to get 5 more. Ooh, I'm looking at it right now on the monitor. We're 2 away. So go ahead. Send today's video to a friend, a family member that's not subscribed. And we're behind on likes. Okay, I owe a couple of shots. We're at 67 likes. We said every 25 likes. I already did the 25 one. So now I got to do the 51. So the 50 like right here. We're 2 subs away from our first subscriber shot. And then I see tomatoes from Lil Stem MC. It's so poetic that the punishments were the same day. Myself and the Atlanta Falcons. Nucci Didon, Reed, if he puts you a caller in your name, it's got to be you. I'm going to take a breather here. Randy Kemper with tomatoes. Put tomatoes in the chat. It's a shot. Randy, cheers, buddy.
This is just our pregame for our group outing.
Yeah. Should we jump right into the second segment? Let's do that, because I think if we wait any longer, it's going to be an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
So let's get right into Mr. Hand. Okay. The Falcons did make a signing. From a content creator standpoint, can they space this shit out a little bit? Drives me up the wall when the offseason is already so dry, as a Sahara, that it's tough to find content that you guys want to watch. And then when I do get good content, like the end of mandatory minicamp, there's plenty to talk about. They signed someone. Do it next week. First world problems. Okay. Yeah, take your time. Get yourself in a good spot. Okay, there's more tomatoes. Why did I do the tomatoes? Ty Man, are you on my side, Ty Man? I always view Ty Man as my biggest ally. And then he starts riling up the chat against me. I'm looking around like, You are my right-hand man, and here you are going, everyone like it up, 75 likes. Ty Man got his wish for the 25th like. Okay. Kyle, I see your tomatoes. I'm pouring so delicately. For Kyle Flenner. Okay. I am going to pause the shots for the next 12 minutes or so while I film this video, which I will put on the channel Friday. And people that are watching this on Friday are going to have no idea. It's like, is he fucking drunk at the job? Like, we better call his boss. Okay. Are we ready? Coming up. I'm not ready. Yeah. Are we ready? It's a question for me. I'm not ready. Here we go. Coming up on today's show, the Falcons made some roster moves, plus Atlanta was linked to a cornerback trade. Now, full disclosure, I am filming this episode during my live punishment for potentially saying Dallas Turner is a Falcon. I don't remember it, but evidently I might have said it once or twice. So every single time someone put tomatoes in the live chat, I took a shot of beer. So if I sound like I just finished a night at the saloon, just bear with me. But let's get into some of the roster moves that were made. So Harrison Hand was signed by the Falcons, a cornerback, and then Anthony Sao was waived by the Falcons. You can tell that I've had one too many shots because they were not both signed. So Anthony was waived, Harrison was signed. I'm sorry for the typo. That's my fault. So let's get to know Harrison Hand a little bit here. He was a 2020 fifth-round draft pick. So in a way, this is the Falcons' 2025 fifth-round draft pick, right? Which they no longer have, so it all equals out. The last time we saw Harrison Hand on an NFL field was in 2022. He was with the Chicago Bears. He played in 4 games. He made 1 start. In his career, 27 appearances, 2 starts. So there's not a lot of tape on the man, which means there's not a lot of deep diving we can do. He started off at Baylor. He transferred to Temple. In his career, 34 tackles, 3 pass breakups, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. So this is just more competition for the bottom of the cornerback roster, if I'm being fully honest with you guys. Like, no offense to Mr. Hand, but I think there is a big uphill battle for him, and this is likely more of a practice squad type signing than an actual contender for the 53-man roster. But at the same time, the Falcons' cornerback room could not be more wide open. I remember one time I worked in minor league baseball, and stick with me, I'm going to land this plane just fine. And I was talking to one of the prospects who was the Cubs AA team, and I was like, what team did you want to get drafted by? And I remember his response surprised me. He said, whichever team had the worst bullpen. I was like, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I always thought you'd go with like a playoff caliber team or your hometown team. But like, no, and understandably so, it's wherever I can have a good opportunity to rise up the depth chart. So if you are a free agent corner or an under-the-radar cornerback, Atlanta's the place to be because it is a great spot to compete to move up the depth chart. The ice above you is very thin. So I still would like another cornerback. I don't think this room is in a spot where it is good to go for the remainder of the season. A.J. Terrell is the undoubted number 1 cornerback on this team. There's very little concerns about him. Sure, the production has kind of dropped off the last 2 years, but that's more of a product of NFL teams going up against the Falcons going, all right, there's one good cornerback in A.J. Terrell, and there's another good corner. No, there's not another good cornerback. It's just A.J. Terrell. So let's not throw to A.J. Terrell's side of the field. And so that means A.J. Terrell can't get the interceptions. He can't get the pass breakups because why would you target A.J. Terrell when CB2 is so much worse than him? So we're going to find out what CB2 this year is made up of. You've got a battle going with Clark Phillips, Mike Hughes, and Antonio Hamilton in my eyes. Last year, Hamilton with the Cardinals. D. Alford, I think, is a good pencil-in candidate for the nickel cornerback position, which in previous years was not that crucial to a defense's success. Ladies and gentlemen, teams are deploying 3 wide receiver sets more than ever. Teams are also getting the ball out in the passing game to running backs in the flat and tight ends. Who makes those tackles out in the flat? It's your nickel cornerback. So you need a good nickel if you want to have a successful defense in the NFL. So there's a lot of pressure on the former CFL star D. Alford. Now, before we get any further in today's show, there is no roster signing that is too small. We're at 22,140 subscribers. We need 60 to get to 22,200. If you want a Falcons YouTube host that will take shots of beer because he was man enough to say Dallas Turner, Bill Belichick, and Justin Fields are all a Falcon, and then take his medicine when he's wrong, hit that sub button. Okay, Bleacher Report. What a bunch of clowns. They say the Falcons' biggest hole is a cornerback. That's actually true, so they're not clowns for that part. But I don't think the signing of Harrison Hand alleviates the pressure at the cornerback room, right? I don't want to beat a dead horse here, and I won't repeat myself, but yeah, there is definitely room to grow in the cornerback room outside of A.J. Terrell. So here's what Bleacher Report had to say about the other cornerbacks on Atlanta's roster. Kevin King. They weren't very kind, by the way. Like, you guys might think I'm overly critical at times. They were very just mean. Kevin King, this is the abbreviated version. No snaps in the last 2 seasons, and he was burnt in coverage. Remember the Packers? I think this was Kevin King. Yeah, maybe not. The Packers-Bucks playoff game when Tom Brady found the white wide receiver who was on the Falcons last year, and his name is escaping me, but whatever. He found him at the end of the first half. That was Kevin King in coverage, I think. Or maybe not. But if it was, another bad knock against him. Clark Phillips, 5'9", he's undersized. There's going to be a lot of zone defense with Jimmy Lake. And zone defense requires good tackling. That's not what Clark Phillips was really drafted to do. He's really athletic. He's a good ball hawk corner. Mike Hughes, first-round pick by the Vikings. He has been a backup. Like, he's a 22 starts in 6 years, right? There's 17 games in a season. The guy hasn't even started full 2 seasons through 6 years, despite being a first-round pick. Antonio Hamilton. Bleacher Report said he was the worst DB in football the last few years. I don't really know where they got that information. I don't think they had a good reason to dislike Antonio Hamilton. They just started going down the line, shitting on everyone else, and they're like, oh, let's just say he sucks. Like, he wasn't that bad, actually, last year in Arizona, but okay, whatever fits your narrative. The point being is, I think cornerback may make or break this defense. Like, pass rush is always going to get more attention because it involves getting after the quarterback, the most important position of sports. But this pass rush is not going to get home in 0.2 seconds, which means the cornerbacks are going to have to hold up in coverage longer. So when a quarterback for the opposition delivers a 25-yard strike over the middle of the field, who are people going to blame? The corners. Like, oh, the guys are getting open. It's the cornerback's fault. Yeah, it would sure help the cornerbacks if the wide receivers didn't have 5 seconds to get open because the pass rush doesn't get to the quarterback. So I think the corners are going to end up taking a lot of blame if they don't get a good pass rush and the corners can't be sticky in coverage. Okay, if you want to get yourself some Falcons gear, chatsports.com/Falcons combo. We've got not 1, 2 shirts, 25% off over at Fanatics when you use our link. I put this link because I love you guys in the comments and description of today's video. So get it today, chatsports.com/Falcons combo. Okay, Scotty Miller. That's the Bucs wide receiver. It just came to me. Where were we talking about? We were talking about the corners. Okay. So that's fine. So, yeah, there were a couple of options that the folks over at Bleacher Report suggested for ways to improve the cornerback room because they just basically shit down everyone's throats of Kevin King, Clark Phillips. Here were those options that they had. Akilla Witherspoon, Xavier Howard, Adoree Jackson, James Bradberry. The first 3 are trade options. James Bradberry definitely caught my eyes. So let's unpack it because trades are always going to be a little bit just more exciting. Let's be honest. Here's the issue. He sucks. Like, James Bradberry, he was a cheat code for other teams last year. Just throw it to him. Remember the Seahawks Eagles Monday Night Football game when Drew Lock was the hero? Producer Reed is an Eagles fan. Every single pass in that 2-minute drive was to James Bradberry's side of the field. He gave up 740 yards in coverage and 11 touchdowns. Here's the crazy thing. That may not even be James Bradberry's worst season in the NFL. There is no one that seesaws more than James Bradberry. So he's kind of due for a big season. But I'm going to pass on James Bradberry. The Eagles have moved him to safety, which just basically is code for let's make you less of a liability at cornerback. And we can't release you because of your contract is just too large to move on from. So I'm not interested in trading for James Bradberry. I could be talked into Akella Witherspoon. He was on the Rams last year. He was a Steeler for a while, just couldn't stay healthy. Look, 11 games, 9 games, 4 games. Finally plays a full season for who? Who? Raheem Morris, Jimmy Lake, and he puts together the best year of his NFL career. So if we want to talk about making an addition, Witherspoon, I think, would make a lot of sense with the familiarity and the production last year. Okay, so to wrap up the video, I'm going to take another shot because it just doesn't feel right that I led you guys astray potentially 3 times this offseason. In my defense, I said they'll get Justin Fields if they had Arthur Smith still. Once they fired Arthur Smith, I did cool off a little bit on the Justin Fields front, I think. I may be misremembering. The Bill Belichick one, that's not my fault. Someone got to Arthur Blank, and someone was Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot because they thought they would get fired. So that's more on them. That's not on me. Dallas Turner, I will wear. I still don't know if that was the right or wrong call. We won't know for years. But cheers to everyone. And I mean this. And not in the drunk, pathetic way, but in a much more sincere way. A little bit of liquor courage here. Doing this channel and hosting this channel is one of the best parts of my day. And hanging out with you guys, even though right now I'm just talking to a camera and a wall and a TV, I do feel the connection of the back and forth. So thank you all for who subscribe, comment, and like. And that's super cliche, but that's the only way I can ever know who watches the channel, right? So shout out to all of you, and cheers. Shout out your city, by the way. I spend all this time getting in my feels, but I want to know more about all of our beautiful viewers. So let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll give some shout outs on a future episode. We got some super chats. Let's go to war. Let's go to war. We're also at 84 likes. Remember, every 25 likes is another shot. So send it to a friend and have them like the video, and then they can leave. I don't care. Atlanta Dog is in Irving. Atlanta Dog, you and I live 20 minutes apart from one another. Let me know next time you want to do shots, just not in a studio setting, and we can get together and talk football. Taylor Elwell, $5 super chat. You got to read it for me.
I'll read it. So it's I saw Taylor. I saw the next one that you sent too. So what do you weigh? You look good, doggy, but can you say it? I can't figure out a way to say. I'm only trying to get your goat.
Your goat. Okay, a couple things.
And then
we're gonna break this down.
Autocorrect. She's got another one here.
I think Taylor's a boy, by the way.
Oh, it's Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Autocorrect. F me. Didn't mean to be. You're not rude at all.
Yeah. No.
I didn't take it as rude. I don't know what I weigh because I don't want to buy a scale because I don't want to know what I weigh. Yeah. So that's step number 1. And then I do like the last line, get your goat. Do you know what that means? No. My grandma used to say it to me all the time when I was little. I have 2 older siblings, and they would always terrorize me, and they would do stuff to egg me on and get me riled up. And my grandma would be like, "Don't let Andrew and Charlotte get your goat." It's don't let them get under your skin.
Okay.
They're just trying to get a reaction out of you. So I think that's what he meant. That's how I read it. But Taylor, I can't tell you my weight because I don't know my weight because I'm fucking terrified to know it. So cheers. I'm sure my weight just got a little bit more though, because it got this much.
bit.
It got this much heavier.
I'm
We're
gonna
at
put
90
this-
likes.
I'm gonna put this up on screen real quick.
Yeah, let's see what with the subscriber. We were 2
Okay.
away. Drum roll, please. Ah, there it is. 140. That's another one. Also, Philip Crawford has tomatoes in the chat. Let's throw the super chat menu back on.
Yep. I was just.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Okay, cheers to everyone who subscribed. Matthew Petey fan is here.
Let's go.
That's not my burner. It's not my burner. It's not my mom. It's not my dad. My parents, they don't watch the show. They don't really understand what I do for a living. They kind of understand because anytime we're like in a family setting, or like my dad's kind of like one of those like he really like pumps you up kind of dads, and if we meet a stranger who is from like Atlanta or a team I cover, shut it down because
Really?
he's going to blow the roof. Okay, cheers to Matthew Petey, fam. And, okay, Emerald 77 or 777's next. Okay. Emerald 777. Are we all caught up in super chats? Okay. We're supposed to get a mailbag. Do we have any questions at all? If we don't, we're just not. Do we have enough for? We don't need to force it. No, let's just not do it. I think you guys would rather just kind of hang. I mean, you guys can decide. Like, do you want to do a mailbag? I'm happy to answer questions, or do you kind of just want to shoot the shit for a little bit? True Pence TV. That kind of looks like True TV. I love True TV because I love Impractical Jokers. One of the Impractical Jokers, Joe Gatto, was in Dallas, or in Addison technically, a month ago or so. I went and saw him do stand-up. I like watching. I like going to see stand-up comedy. Have you ever heard the expression "Don't meet your heroes"? Reed, don't meet your heroes. I went and saw Joe Gatto do stand-up.
I heard he's terrible.
I don't want to say that. I will. It was rough, and I'm sorry, Joe, if you ever come across this. I love Joe as Impractical Jokers. Some people need to stay in their lanes. Like, I think there are lots of things that if I tried to dip my toe into, I would fail.
Yeah.
And just wasn't
He's
great.
got a different type of comedy.
Yeah. Let's just kind of like cycle through the questions. We don't need to make a cut out of it. That sound
Okay.
good?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So cheers. What am I cheersing for? Oh, for True Pence TV, I think. Kyle says Sal is a lot better. If I'm ranking like on screen and Practical Jokers, my ranking goes Joe. Probably. Joe's just so far ahead. I would go Joe. I think Murr's funny on the show. Then probably Sal and then Q. But they're very close, the next three. I think Murr is open to doing more. I also think he's a little bit better on his feet.
Yeah.
Sal's funny because Sal melts down.
Yes.
Like Sal's kind of a pussy. Like he doesn't want to do a lot of the
He's
stuff.
scared of cats.
He's scared of cats. Q just kind of he doesn't like stick out in a way. So that's why I feel like he can kind of get lost in that rankings. Kyle went to see Sal at the Alabama Theater in person. What was it like? Okay, Kyle, let's run through some of the questions. Taylor, if you make it to the mailbag, name a cornerback group worse than Atlanta. Okay, I'm just going to try to go off the dome right now. Cornerback groups that I know are bad. Just ones that they may not be worse than Atlanta, but I know the Giants don't have a great cornerback room. They have Deonte Banks, their first-round pick last year. He's their number one corner. Cordero Flaw is kind of like their version of a Clark Phillips. So that's definitely one that could be comparable to Atlanta. The Commanders, No, I don't think that they have. No, they did. I don't know. Can you look up where Kyle Fuller went? No, not Kyle Fuller. Who was the Commanders? Kendall Fuller. I said Kyle Fuller. He was on the Bears. Kendall Fuller. Where did Kendall? Who signed Kendall Fuller? You went to the Dolphins? Okay, so the Commanders could be one of the least enticing cornerback rooms. Yeah, I don't remember. The Cardinals, 100% the Arizona Cardinals. Let's play a game. You want to play a drinking game? Look up the Cardinals depth chart. Take a drink every time you don't recognize a name.
I'm just gonna get hammered.
I look up the Cardinals depth chart for me right now, and count out every all 11 starters. And I'll count. I'll be honest when I say if I even heard of them before. It's that thin of a UDFA rebuild. You ready?
Their defense or offense?
Defense.
Defense. All right.
You guys want to get in the nitty gritty? Here we go.
Starters?
Yeah, starters only.
Darius Robinson.
The rookie from Mizzou.
Bilal Nichols.
Yep, drafted by the Bears in 2017.
Justin Jones.
Yeah, defensive tackle.
Zaven Collins.
The first round pick.
Kazir White.
He came over from the Eagles.
Kyrus Barnes.
No, that's a new. That person does not exist.
DJ Ojolari.
Second round pick out of LSU.
Max Melton.
The rookie out of Rutgers.
Jalen Thompson.
Tennessee? No. Go on.
Buda Baker.
Yeah.
John Murphy Bunting.
Yeah, okay. You know what?
Garrett Williams.
Dude, I disrespected the Cardinals. May not be that bad. Taylor, appreciate your question. Okay, there hasn't been a tomato in a while, so I kind of actually avoided a couple of them. We're 4 likes away from our next 100 likes. That's another shot. Every super chat, by the way, is a shot. $10 super chat, Reed takes a shot, and he gives me a breather. Terry's watching from West Palm Beach, Florida. I've got some... Oh, let's go through some questions. George Washington. Hey, I know this tampering thing is finally finished, but do you know that CEO Rich McKay got the penalties reduced because of his position? And why do they say that we tampered with Mooney and the tight end? Our first president... I don't know for certainty if Rich McKay got the penalties reduced. Like, are you asking, like, do I know if that happened, or are you telling me? I can't really tell the tone of this one right here. I think that there was probably a little bit of assistance from Rich McKay, who's on, like, the rules committee helping out. Like, maybe, some emails were sent around, and he's like, I think I saw the word fifth. And they're like, no, in the meeting they said third. Like, no, they said fifth, and they just kind of went with that. So maybe Rich McKay had that kind of role. Okay, the reason why Mooney and Charlie Werner were included was because the violations the Falcons made were that they were talking to players during the legal tampering period. When NFL free agency starts Monday of that week in March, I don't remember the exact hour. I think it's part of me thinks it's at like 4 p.m. Eastern. But maybe it's in the morning, actually. Whatever time, it doesn't matter. Agents can talk to GMs. GMs cannot talk to players unless the player is their own representative. The Falcons were talking to Cousins, Mooney, and Werner, who all have agents during that legal tampering period, Monday, Tuesday, and before the league year starts Wednesday at noon o'clock Eastern. So, the fact that they weren't talking to them before legal tampering, which I think would have been pretty easy to prove, you just got to look at the phone records. Like, you don't need Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine to look at that. They were like, all right, fifth rounder seems sufficient enough. But my guess is they were, like the report said, they were talking to Mooney and Werner, along with Kirk Cousins. It's just Cousins was the only one who got a press conference. So he was the only one that had the opportunity to slip up and say, I was here yesterday. It's like, Kirk, shut the fuck up. Like, you were not here yesterday. I mean, if I'm Terry Fontenot, like, I want one hell of a steak dinner from Kirk Cousins. I kind of want the scene to be reenacted where Kirk Cousins' wife, I think her name is Julie, from the Netflix show, quarterback, which yours truly is featured in, self-plug. I want her to, like, run into their kitchen and be like, $20,000 on sides, Jordy? Like, that's how much I want Terry Fontenot to spend on sides because of the $50,000 fine he got because Kirk Cousins couldn't keep his mouth shut. Besides cure cancer, yes, that's why they cost $20,000. They did indeed cure cancer. Okay. JT, ATL. Petey. Okay, here we go. I fucked up. I was drinking, watching you doing drinking. I was drinking, watching you doing Uber Eats. Thank you. Crash car in the fence. I'm hanging out behind Aldi's. Thank you. Dumpster. I see expired meatball. I hope this is kind of true because it sounds like a really. Oh, you got a car accident? Oh, I missed that part. Oh, the crash. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing Uber Eats and you went to hide behind Aldi's. I mean, as long as it wasn't a big accident, like, it sounds like it's entertaining at the very least, which maybe not be the most PC thing in this world to say, but there's just a 0% chance this is true. And I know it's not true because no one would add at the end expired meatball. Because when has anyone thought about expiration dates for meatballs? Like,
yeah,
meatballs don't, like, that's not a thing that has, like, hey, this has until June 20th. Like, no, there's no expiration dates for that.
JT, I hope you didn't crash your car.
You don't have to worry. No, there's a 0% chance that is completely false. Colin Purvis with tomatoes. And I owe one for JT ATL. We got Taylor Elwell with a $2 super chat. We can put the menu on for just a moment, though. So, we're 2 likes away from 100 likes. Every 25 likes is another shot. So, if you want to keep the party going, send this video to someone who's not watching to like the video. And then we can keep it going. Taylor, losing some viewers, mainline some wine. Yes, sir. Okay, Reed, what I want to do next here. Cheers to Taylor. I'm actually out. Could you please run and get me another? Thank you very much. RM, screw you. These shots are not getting smaller. It's the same glass. They are the same size. Jason Greenway's here. Good to see you, Jason. Mike Glennon's neck. Oh, are you guys ready to laugh? Well, Reed, while you get the beer, I'll tell them about who's visiting the office today. True story. Not even a story. Real fact, maybe still at the moment. I'm going to try to be as 100% sober as I can to deliver this. My boss sent a message to the entire company message Slack and said, hey, at 1 p.m. today, we're having a meeting or some visitors from a company we work with. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Do you want to guess who walks in at 1 o'clock? It's the representatives from CLNS, our friends who helped get us the deal with Prize Picks. CLNS walks through the door, and all I can think about is you have no idea how many Falcons Today viewers are like, you guys are our favorite people. CLNS, these guys walk in, they're from Boston. They're here for the Celtics Mavericks, Game 3 and Game 4 in Dallas. And they immediately start just making fun of the Mavericks fans in the office, which, like, Chat Sports is based out of Dallas, so the biggest fan base in the office is for sure like the Mavericks, and they did not laugh at all. These Boston guys came in just going for throats, and I was laughing my ass off. But yeah, CLNS are they still here? Did you see them at all? Okay. But I was like, man, if they stuck around for our live show, they would have been greeted like kings from all of our wonderful viewers who love CLNS. Okay. Who put tomatoes in? Colin. I owe Colin one. We got one from Blair Bros, $2 super chat. This one goes for Blair Bros. Philip, now that we know what picks we have left, Do you see us trading for a cornerback or edge? I think there is an element of when you got a defensive-minded coach like Raheem Morris and a GM that hired that guy or played a part in it, there is some level of betting on the coach to develop the recent draft picks made by the GM, like Clark Phillips, like Arnold Ebiketie, right? Those people, the head coach, GM, look at the roster a little bit differently than you and I do because they have real stake in it, right? They handpicked, the GM did, the players, and then handpicked the coach to coach those players. And so the coach is going to be like, well, if I go and say, go get me better players, it doesn't sound like the coach is doing a great job at doing his job, coaching. Now, that's kind of a very simplified version of it, and there's still trades that happen, but I think for now, like, they're going to bet on themselves. And maybe halfway through training camp, they just have that come to Jesus moment of, it's not going to work. We do need to make an addition. But I don't think that's going to happen until halfway through training camp if there are problems, right? I think the Falcons are going to bet on themselves. So that was something from, I forgot who it was, from Phillip. So I don't think we're going to see the trade. Blair Bros, love it, brother. Go Falcons. We're $5 away, by the way, and we got to 100 likes, so I owe another shot.
If we get to 100, so I'll put a timer up here. 2 minutes. If somebody sends in a $5 super chat and gets us to $100, I'll chug the rest of my beer. I'll put a shot clock up here. 2 minutes. If we get to it in 2 minutes, I'll finish my beer.
Harry with some tomatoes. I owe a shot. Harry, for you. Who is your surprise breakout player on offense and on defense? Okay.
Blair Bros.
Blair Bros, the $5 super chat. Kyle, I'll answer your question in just a second, but Reed's got to take care of this one here. This is your doing. You signed up for this. Surprise breakout player on offense and defense. For offense, they returned like every starter but quarterback except for Darnell Mooney. He was swapped out with Mac Hollins. So I don't know if I have a surprise because it's so many of the same faces. I do think, like, this is really lazy of me. Drake London's going to be awesome this year, guys. Like, I think he's going to be a 1,200, 9-touchdown type of player. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. I think Drake London's going to be an incredible receiver. That's not surprise. I'm sorry, but, like, I'll go as far say that he's going to be, like, beyond just really good. He'll be a Pro Bowl wide receiver. Defense, I'll go with give me a little bit of Clark Phillips. I liked the pick when they made it, and I still am going to hold on to that feeling. So give me Clark Phillips. $20 super chat. Let's go! From Dan Schreiman. I'm just going to get this started right now. Let's go, Dirty Birds. We each owe 2 shots for Dan.
Oh, I just realized I'm out of my beer. Can I get some?
Yeah, go get another one.
I'll get another one.
If I give you mine, I'm going to run out in a moment, too.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jason put tomatoes in the chat. That was so kind of you. Dan, cheers. Get 2. Dan the man. Dan, thank you so much. The alpaca, it looks like. Jason, I see your tomatoes. Jack says KC Washington. I think people every once in a while need that little like splash of water on the face. There's no pads, there's no contact in mandatory in minicamp OTAs, which means players that are smaller and faster get to excel because you can't tackle them. When the pads come on, the big boys come to eat, and it makes the life a lot more difficult for the smaller, faster dudes. So don't read too much into, oh, this running back's awesome. Like, this doesn't just apply to the Falcons. It's all 32 teams. Like, well, yeah, but he doesn't have to get tackled, and that's going to change. Oh, Coors Lattes, baby. Thank you. Dan, I owe you a second one, and then Reed owes you 2, I think. Cheers, Dan. Okay. Jason put tomatoes in the chat. Let's throw the sub counter on. Let's see where we're at. Okay. We're 3 subs away right now from our next Take a Shot milestone. So send our stream right now to someone you know is not subscribed. Just have them hit the sub button. Then they can leave. And if we get 3 more of those, we're doing another shot. Steven Trail with another tomato in the chat. Okay. Here we go. Steven, cheers, buddy.
All right, I want you guys in the comments right now, spam your grade for this live stream. Petey is putting his life on the line right now. What is your grade? A, B, C, or D? Are you guys having fun?
Blair Bros, Reed, how much for you to shotgun an entire can?
That's got to be a $50 one.
You tell Blair Bros 50. That's
Blair Bros, if you send in $50, I'll shotgun a beer.
I'll say this much: if someone sends in 100, Reed and I will shotgun race. That's the offer on the table.
So $50 is off the table. It's $100. We'll shotgun race.
Reed, $50 for just Reed to do it. $100 for the race.
Yes.
Yeah. We're all on the same page. Thomas with more tomatoes.
All right, I'll give you guys some shout outs. So we got Kyle, RM, Realistic,
Steven.
Steph,
That's
Taylor,
funny.
Harry, Cade, Archangel, Time Man, the Buckeye, Kyle, Thomas, Steven again, Matthew Petey Fam, Blair Bros, JT.
Peter, guys, tomatoes. This is a horrible
Cade
idea.
is in here.
The bunk beds were an awful idea. Why would you let us do them?
Dan said, P.S. I teach whitewater kayaking. Let's get them on the river for an episode. I would love to do some kayaking.
That sounds awful right now. I'm not a very good eagle. I'm an Eagle Scout, but this hand. I'm not a very good one though. Like, my dad forced me to do it, and I have no interest in doing outdoor activities.
Matthew Petey Fan said, "Are you good?"
We're gonna make it. Steven, what position would PD play for the Falcons? Maybe guard? Played right tackle freshman year of football. I was the kicker on our 8th grade team, along with offensive line. I was a damn good kicker too. We never attempted a field goal though. I'll say this story really quickly about my middle school football experience. There were enough kids to have like 2 teams for that same grade group, so the coaches did a draft. There was like a 3-day combine, kind of, I guess, the weigh-in, running drills like that, and then they did a draft, and we weren't present for the draft, and then we came back to practice the next day. They said these are the 2 teams. Our coach was the worst GM in the history of middle school football. Our team sucked compared to the other team. Like, you think they'd be kind of balanced? No. I don't know what big board he was looking at. It was the worst draft. We were awful. We did not win a single game. It was 7th grade, actually. Sorry. We did not win a single game. Or was it 6th? No, 7th grade. We did not win a single game of football. Okay? And our coach was this guy from, like, South Texas. He had a big, thick accent. And I remember that we were 0-3. And he sat us down before, this is a true story. Everything I would say is 100% true. He sat us down before practice on Monday. And he's like, you guys have too much talent to be this bad. We've scored 1 touchdown. And that was by accident. And that was true. Through 3 games, we had scored 1 touchdown. And what happened was our quarterback threw it. It went through the wide receiver's hands, hit his helmet, and then bopped to another wide receiver in the end zone behind him. That was the only points we had all year. So that Coach Jim, quit. He goes, you guys have too much talent to be this bad. I can't help but feel responsible. So he quit. But that's not the best part of the story, okay? He quit, and he was replaced by a father of one of the kids on our team. Kind of par for the course for middle school athletics. Except this kid's father would now be coaching alongside the other coach, Coach John, who was that same kid's stepdad.
Oh, my God.
Father and stepdad, who were both or at some point married to the same woman, were now co-coaches. They hated each other, I think, because we were the ones that took the brute end of like so many laps around Apollo Fields. It was fucking Iwo Jima out there. We had two dads that despised one another because one was married to and one is married to the same woman. And someone thought that would be a good idea for 7th graders to deal with. We were all part of marriage counseling, basically, for a fall. So, the tomatoes. So,
let's get this super chat from Rydell.
Rydell, next bowl prediction, fail. You smoke ganja.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to stick to the beer Olympic type shows.
Our building would be very happy with that.
No. Reed, let's each give an opinion that or a sports take that would not be popular, and we would never put it online because it would not go over well. Cheers. Something that you are harboring inside. I've got one.
All right, you go first.
It's not a slight at Reed at all. You just happen to be the producer for today's show. I think Jalen Hurts is massively overrated. I think he got
I've heard that from multiple people.
That's not like this like
producer / host now, Patrick Seatman, believes the same thing.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Like, I can name 10 guys I'd rather have. Not a popular opinion, but there it is.
So,
Reed's an Eagles fan. I didn't do this because you're producing. That's something that I've kind of had in the chamber.
So, I would say the same thing about Justin Herbert.
Ooh, so you have met the criteria for this question. Dude, I don't know if anyone had a honeymoon phase better than Justin Herbert.
Oh my God.
The glazing for him. Yes, I agree. I see what you're saying.
And I think, unfortunately, I love Jalen Hurts, but I think they're both in the same boat. I think they have to prove themselves.
Don't let me bully you into Jalen Hurts state. If you think Jalen Hurts is good, stick by your guns.
So
Blair Bros, we'll throw it on screen.
Yep. Last year, he seemed hesitant and wasn't playing like he was in the Super Bowl and that season. And from what I've seen at training camp, they're running him a little bit more. He's getting outside the pocket more. If he can do that, he's going to get back to the Jalen Hurts that I know. But last year, he was not playing like himself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can say the same about Justin Herbert because I didn't watch as many Chargers games.
There were a lot of defenders for Hurts last year when he had a top 2 offensive line. Yeah. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Like, it just...
I know, that's the only thing.
If we're being realistic, it's hard to get into it. Like, there's never going to be a perfect circumstance for a quarterback. Like, there's always going to be something slightly wrong. But when the offensive line is great, that should be the first, thing to fix. Like, if you got a good O-line, these NFL wide receivers, whether they're A.J. Brown or, Mac Hollins, they should be able to get open. And they may not have great yards or catchability, but, Kyle, what's going on, buddy? What is your prediction on trade targets for the Falcons at the trade deadline? Also, who would be on the trade block on the Falcons? Okay, great question, Kyle. I see some tomatoes from Harry. Keep coming.
If you guys want to get some questions in and have Petey answer them, use #Falcons, and I'll be able to pull it up in the system and put it up on screen like this. And I got some questions in there, and we're gonna filter through them a little bit. But if you got a burning question that you want Peter to answer, use that hashtag Falcons, and we can put it up on screen for you.
Rydell, so if Hurts is top 10 this year, he's got to take an edible. Rydell, I mean this with full like sincerity, or just please remember that take in December. Whether I'm right or wrong, just please resurface it because I'll just forget. And I'm not agreeing to the edible part, but I love reminding people of their takes. So fun fact about yours truly, anytime in the office at Chat Sports, we all kind of sit in the same like fishbowl, bullpen as we call it. Someone gives a bold take on Slack, I will Slack them what they said, but I'll schedule it for 5 months down the road when we can know whether or not that was right or wrong. And there's pretty much everyone in the office by now is going to get a Slack from me that just goes, on June 7th, you said this, and we'll know if it was right or wrong. Like, people get away with giving bad takes or right takes, but no one remembers. Because if you don't tweet it, you don't have the timestamp. So, please remember that. Jace, trade targets, man. It's really tough to say without knowing like who the sellers are going to be. But my gut tells me if the Falcons are good and they're buyers at the deadline, they really want to buy, they'd probably want to buy a pass rusher. Like, that's kind of a go-to one. So who's a pass rusher, a good one on a bad team that's on like a expiring contract? I've got a crazy one. You ready? Jadeveon Clowney. He's on the Panthers.
What?
NFC South trade is tough.
He's got a 2-year deal now.
Was it a 2-year? I think it
was.
was.
His first 2-year deal in like.
That sounds
years.
right. Yeah.
In like all of his years of.
I could see the Panthers being sellers, and maybe you get a very rare interdivision trade. Another team that I could kind of see being a seller. How about Matthew Judon with the Patriots? Like, that's a possibility. Reed, if you have any that pop in your mind, feel free to shout them out. I can't think of one in like the NFC West, AFC West. The Broncos, no. The Chiefs, they're not going to be sellers.
I could be wrong, but
Raiders,
Armstead
no.
with the Jaguars, he just
signed. He just signed. I think he's going to stay. Yeah. I'll go with Matthew Judon. Also, who would be on the trade block? Right, things are bad. They're below 500 at the deadline. Someone that AJ Terrell, like, that's not what you want to hear. But if there's no intent to re-sign him after the year, and you're already losing, what more do you need from him for the next 7-8 games? You know what I mean? So that's a big like fish. Another one that maybe could get moved, like Kyle Pitts, there'll always be some level of interest around him.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't think there's any interest in Atlanta's side of moving on from him, but if you're 3-6, whatever the record is, like, they picked up his 5th-year option, so he'd be under contract for another year, which is kind of good and bad for another team. Kyle, appreciate your question, buddy. Rydell.
So this is a drunk test, he said.
Repeat specific.
He said, no, repeat it. So go from after.
I know, that was a tough word, though. That was not nice. You can't lead off with that, dude. Repeat. Specificity. Loquacious.
Transubstantiate?
Oh, that was a big word, dude. That is not fair at all. I don't think sober I'm getting that word out.
Loquacious and...
You say it. Fucking big shot.
Oh, no, I'm trying to do it with you.
Yeah, say that first word. That's what I thought.
Specificity.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Einstein.
If you say it fast, it makes it sound good.
Rydell with more tomatoes. That was not cool, Rydell. I'm going to say that much.
Thanks to the $2, though.
I always felt like when you see the videos, like the DUI test of, like, say the alphabet backwards, like, I couldn't do that sober. That's not a fair test at all. Cheers.
All right, we're going to run through some of these questions that you guys put up there.
Yeah, let's do that, bud. Jack, would cutting Heineke and Grant free up enough cap space to sign Gilmore to be our CB2, move Clark to slot? You don't have to worry about cap space. Like, cutting Taylor Heineke, I'm just going to spitball $3 million in savings. Richie Grant would free up $1 million. That's $4 million. My guess is Stephon Gilmore will sign a 1-year, $8 million contract. So, do you need half of that money to be freed up by those two? No, you can make it happen without having to move on from someone. And then move Clark Phillips. I like D. Alford in the slot. I like D in the slot. I don't think so. But I am not opposed to signing Gilmore. I do think the Falcons want to see, like, what they have in Clark Phillips, though. Like, they want to know, hey, do we have someone that could be a starter for us for the next 3 years on their rookie contract versus 1 year, $8 to $10 million constant signing veteran CBs. Archangel, who makes the biggest jump this season? Zach Harrison, DeMarco Helms, Troy Anderson, Arnold Ebiketie. I know Arnold Ebiketie. Last year, he was a 6-sack player who, according to Pro Football Focus, had like 160 pass rushing snaps. That was less than half than what like Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree had, who had 6.5 sacks. So I'll say Arnold Ebiketie can go from a 6-sack. You know, if he continues on the course he's on, which isn't always how the NFL works, he could be an 8.5, maybe 9-sack player. I don't think he'd be a double-digit sack player, but I'll go with Arnold Ebiketie. Peter Griffin. This question's for Petey. What NFL team are you a fan of? I get this one every so often. So it's just a little bit funny just because we had the new guy or the future new guy in the office today. He was touring around. So I covered 3 teams at Chat Sports. And the history, not to bore you guys out, is I joined almost 3 years ago to the day. It'll be 3 years next month. And when I started, they were like, hey, we're going to assign you to 2 of our smaller channels and have you grow them. So they assigned me to the Browns and the Broncos channel. And then they already had a Falcon channel. Some of you guys might remember Thomas Mott. He quit for, different career aspirations, whatnot. And then I was like, hey, I'll help out on Falcons. And then me and producer Rolly, we did that for a while. And then Rolly got assigned to, other projects. So it just became my baby. So that's kind of like the long-winded answer of when you cover the NFL, you start to look at it a different way than how you guys look at it. Because I'm not on my couch on Sundays watching. Like, it's a job. And that sounds super dumb, but I really mean it with full sincerity of, like, once you start covering the league, it's your job and you don't look at it like a fandom. And so then you start to approach it differently. I know that's probably not the answer you want, Peter, but that's just kind of the truth as to the progression of my Chat Sports career.
I love his profile picture.
What is it? I can't even see.
I know it's Peter Griffin. I can't see specifically what it is, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Steven Trail. Petey, can Pitts get double-digit touchdowns with Cousins at QB? And maybe he can unlock Kyle's red zone production. Also, Wes is a rat. Okay, a lot to break down here. Can Pitts get double-digit touchdowns with Cousins at QB? I don't want to go as far as 10 touchdowns for Kyle Pitts.
I think he gets to 7 or 8.
The guy's got 3 in his NFL career. Like, let's start with getting him, like what we just said. Let's get Kyle Pitts 6 touchdowns, okay? That would 3x what he's ever done in a season. I do agree that we have not seen enough of Kyle Pitts in the red zone. Like, it's just a good reminder of the unicorn that Kyle Pitts is as an athletic specimen. Also, Wes is a rat. I don't know what this is in reference to, unless I'm missing something really obvious. Steven, please help me out. Wes, is Wes someone in the chat? I know 2 Wes's. It's my fiance's brother. He's not a rat. He's a cool guy. And then there's Wes Rucker, who covers the Vols, my alma mater. He's not a rat, but he's a pussy. Fucking drives me up the wall with his tweets. Matthew Petey fan. Stat predictions for Casey Washington. 29 grabs for 300 yards and no touchdowns. That's the life of a day 3 pick at wide receiver. And that's probably on the generous side, honestly. True Pens TV. Will the Falcons make it to the Super Bowl this year? No. I know you want me to say yes. So, you know what? I'll say yes so you can just have that spank bank material. Yeah, Falcons are going to win the NFC this year. Cut. I don't think that's going to be the truth, though. Taper. Down the expectations for year 1. Win a playoff game this year. And then we can talk next year. Like, for example, the Philadelphia Eagles in 2021 had that 7-game win streak to make the 7th seed, go to Tampa Bay. They got smacked around by Tom Brady. They were in the Super Bowl the very next year, 2022. Like, that's the goal right now, right? It's like, look what the Eagles did. But I'm like, they were like 3-6-ish that 2021. They won 7 in a row. They finished with like 9 wins. They were 9-8, so maybe they were 8 and I don't know what the math is, but that's the goal this year. Is get in the playoffs, get some experience for the roster, and then the next season, if we're being honest. Jamal D, do you see us being aggressive before the trade deadline this season for an edge, since we have plenty of draft picks still? We could throw up the draft picks the Falcons have for 2025, Reed. I think, yes, I do. Like, I say that because I think a couple of things. I think the Falcons will be a contending team when the trade deadline rolls around. And I think / I know that edge rushers, and here are their draft picks, by the way, for 2025 after all the dust is settled. The Falcons will be a contending team, and edge rushers always sell the hottest at the deadline. So, to answer your question, like, yeah, I do because I think they'll be good. If they're not good, that changes things. But my money is on them being good, and then it's pretty logical to connect the dots of you're good, you're at the NFL trade deadline, you want an edge rusher, especially when you're the Falcons. Atlanta Dog 88. No one's put a tomato in yet.
We had a deal, and I'll lower the deal if Petey's okay with this. We're
That's
at
fine.
126 in super chats. If we get to $200, the original one was if we get $100, we do a shotgun race. But if we get to $200, so it's a little bit of a discount. If we get to $200, we'll do that. We'll do a shotgun for you.
I like what Reed said. 200 total. We're at 127. So whatever the math is.
And that's combined. So
yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be a $100 super chat.
No, it can be a chipping
like
away at it kind of effort.
Chip away.
Yeah. Peter Griffin with tomatoes. Cheers, Peter. This is the punishment menu if you're just tuning in. We're at 115 likes. We're 10 likes away from 125. That would be another shot. I did every 20. Oh, my God. I changed it to... okay. I thought I had 25. I'm sticking to 25. I know it says 20. I'm not trying to cheap you out of 5 likes. I just misread it. I think I combined the 20 and the 5. That's what I think would happen. That was dumb of me. Oh, True Prince TV with more tomatoes. And Hammock Man. Jamal D. Thomas Mott was my guy. Thomas was a remote worker for us at Chat Sports. So I never met him in person. We only overlapped like a year or so. But he was a remote guy, so I enjoyed like working. I can't say with him is kind of a strong word since he didn't live where we live. But he's got his own YouTube channel. I want to go check it out. Okay, $2 super chat. This is not nice. This is not nice. It's not nice at all, if I'm being honest. And we got more tomatoes from Aram J.
Indubitably.
Preliminary. Your turn.
Proliferation.
Cinnamon. That was good.
Come on, Rydell.
Try again another time. Couple of spelling bee whizzes over here.
Oh, no, I wouldn't call myself a whiz.
No, that one Falcons fan has some questions in the chat. Let's throw that one on screen.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Arnold Ebiketie breaks the team's single-game sack record and has 13 sacks over the season, I hope. His athleticism is unbelievable. He has a great chance of being a Micah Parsons. Let's slow down, okay? Just because they both went to Penn State doesn't mean he'll be the next Micah Parsons. I don't even know what the Falcons' single-game record is. Can someone please someone look at the chat? I'm gonna kind of make an educated guess. It's either Vic Beasley or John Abraham, and I'll say it's John Abraham. I'll put it at like 3 sacks. I think that Arnold Ebiketie will have ceiling of 8 sacks this year. 8.5. We'll round up a little bit more. I'm not quite on that same Kool-Aid. Nucci, I'm not done taking sack. No, the single game sack record, Kyle. Not the season, but a single game. Matthew Petey fan. Why does Kirk look so much more ripped? Dude, not to glaze. He's fucking yoked.
He is. I saw.
Kudos to him.
That I saw.
The graveyard of Coors Lattes I have right now, by the way.
On.
Grady had that's a good memory. Okay. Peter Griffin with more tomatoes. Oh, Kyle, I see what you're saying. Okay, my bad. Peter, cheers. True Pence TV with more tomatoes.
Trying to look up a picture. There was a picture of Kirk Cousins that I saw.
Here's the thumbnail of the video of this live right now. I was like, Kirk Cousins is sweeping up all the D4Zs of Johns Creek and Alpharetta. All right, Harry and Jack with tomatoes. This one's for Harry. This next one's for Jack. They just keep coming. They just don't stop. Who's next? Jack, I think. Maybe already. I don't know. I can't even be mad because, I said Dallas Turner was a Falcon. I said he was a Falcon. He wasn't a Falcon. No more pomegranates. No more pomegranates. You know, was that video too young for you?
Oh.
Say it with me. No more pomegranates. No more tomatoes. Nucci Didon. Do you think Kirk could get us to a Super Bowl by his final year? Yes. I think Kirk Cousins is good enough. I think Kirk Cousins is a good enough quarterback to go to a Super Bowl.
I agree.
Guys,
this year is. I think.
No offense to Reed here. If Nick Foles, and that's not like a jab at Nick Foles, but if that's the bar,
I am totally with you.
Kirk Cousins is capable of exceeding that bar. You know what I mean?
All right, I got the picture.
Quote a line from Remember the Titans. Okay, there is a certain line.
Left side.
They don't gain another yard. We blitz every play. That line gives me goosebumps. And football is fun. Yeah. Football is fun. I think. Oh, now you're thinking. Football's not fun anymore. No, sir. Now it's not fun. That scene right there, it always makes me laugh.
I like the.
You think. Now you're thinking. First you know, now you're thinking. Is football fun? No, sir. Now it's not fun. kind of a GOAT actor.
I think he does. I think he's got everyone.
Oh, that's the picture, the thumbnail.
This is what I was looking at.
No, I mean everyone knows Denzel Washington is awesome, but like, there needs to be a little bit more credit given that like he's in a lot of movies and he nails every role he's in.
I mean, each Equalizer movie is just amazing.
You drop a pass, you run a mile. Jeff, I'm doing the new people, the tomatoes. My name is Jeff. Cheers. Okay. It's 5:40. We'll round down. We're going to do 5 more minutes. If we get more super chats, we'll keep it going. But the 5-minute timer is on. Because we do have, this was not a good night looking back at it to do it, a company get-together. And I probably shouldn't be drunk at it. But that ship has sailed. We're trying to reduce the bleeding.
It's our job.
It's our job.
This is from
Nucci. Nucci, I'm not going to forget.
Bussin'.
Hot take. Phillips will have a better year than Terrell. So I can kind of see a little bit of the grounds as to where Capalotta Bussin's coming from. I do want to put on people's radars. A.J. Terrell is a man corner. And Raheem Morris is a zone defensive coordinator play caller. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo. But the point is, when you run a zone defense, you keep the ball in front of you. You don't want the big play, right? You don't want the mano-a-mano, I got beat and I gave up 45 yards. That requires good tackling from your DBs. That's not A.J. Terrell's strong suit. So I do have some reservations. Dark Knight. Let's put the super chat on screen.
Oh.
My tell is if I take a shot of something that my body is like kind of rejecting, I just start to shiver.
Wait, this?
Yeah, did we do this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't think we did that one. PD, are the Celtics about to sweep the Mavs? I said Celtics in 5. That was my prediction. And I think the Mavs can win like game 4 at home. You know, kind of like eke it out another game. This was not nice. Why did you put this on screen? Reminding him.
Whoa. I will give a deal. I will give a deal to everyone. So we're at 120 likes. If we can get to 150, I will chug half my beer.
For Brian Lamar.
We're at 120 likes. If we can get to 150, I'll chug half my beer.
Jack, I'm skipping PMT episode to Celtics win. I think I said this in the last episode, Jack, but I am an AWL. I listen to every single part of my take episode, but I have a very short commute, so I fall behind really quickly. I'm listening to, and I don't skip ahead. I'm listening to their March episodes at the moment. So in my world, NFL free agency is about to get started.
Oh,
I think the
you're
Falcons
in for a whirlwind.
Ready? I think the Falcons might sign Kirk Cousins. Hot take.
That's a hot take.
Just gonna put that out there.
What
Only
do you guys
if you want
think?
it. I will skip ahead for really important episodes, like after the leading up to the draft when they interview like Daniel Jeremiah, like stuff like that. But then I'll just go back to where I left off, like where I am.
Right.
So I just listened to Diana Rossini talk about Max like farting it up on the flight to Las Vegas, and she said the Patriots are gonna go get a big name wide receiver. So I texted my Patriots coworker, Nick Rollout, who's from New England, Patriots fan, whatever. And I was like, the Patriots got a big name wide receiver. He's like, what are you talking about? Diana Rossini, PMT, from March 4th. Okay. Jim, I'm about 1/3 of the way through this show, and it's been fun so far. In the future, when you do this again, first off, Jim, a little bit of an FU. There will be no future. I'm not going to get anything wrong after this. I want you to let out full throttle burps instead of muffling them. No, you don't. It's bad audio. No one wants to hear that. Zach Parker's got tomatoes in the chat. Rydell with another super chat.
We got breaking news.
What is it?
The Jaguars have reached a deal with their star QB, Trevor Lawrence.
Stop. I want to guess.
Okay.
Do you have the figures?
Yeah.
You have the contract numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you have the years and the total?
I have the blank year extension worth blank.
Okay, that's all I need to hear.
Blank a year.
Ready?
With blank guaranteed and blank fully.
Okay. I'm excited. Here we go. I have not seen this. I'm going to guess it's either a 4 or 5 year. I will go with a 5-year extension.
You got 5 years.
5 years. You said blank a year. Ready?
Yep.
I'm going to guess it is. I'm so scared. $52 million a season.
So close.
What is it?
55 a year.
I didn't think he'd get that much.
Yeah.
What's the math then? What's 5 times 55? What's the total?
5 times 55.
Well, what's the total contract value?
Oh, hold on, I lost it.
275?
It's 200 guaranteed with 142 fully.
Wait. Say it.
So, all right. So,
read it out loud.
5-year extension worth $275 million.
That's what I was looking for. 275. Okay.
Yeah. $55 million a year with 200 guaranteed and 142 fully.
55 million. If you get it wrong, you gotta drink. I was like a couple million off.
That was very impressive. You got the 5. That was good.
I figured they'd go 5.
He deserves the 5 for sure.
Dude, Trevor Lawrence has not looked like a $55 million quarterback.
No.
Slight kudos to them, though, for getting this done now. Had they waited until the next offseason, it could have gone up an extra $25 million.
Yeah.
Drink for the per year. You guys actually are funny. Okay. Oh, I over-poured it. Damn it. That was dumb. It's an extra full one. All right, this will be, let's put on Rydell's super chat.
Yep.
And this will be the last one, unless we get another super chat. Drink.
Ooh.
It makes me shiver. It's like involuntary. I've always done it.
You know what? I feel like I owe some shots.
Yeah, could you pitch in? Like,
I gotta help Mr. Petey out.
what do we have to do to get you to chug the rest of the beer? Super chat, and I'll chug it down. Dirty Bird Ty, what are you drinking? I like Coors Lattes. That's my preferred light beer.
So
My ranking is like Coors, probably Michelob. I like Pacificos a lot.
Yeah.
I also sorry, not to cut you off. I like the craft beer world too.
Yeah.
I like the local. Like if you're at like a sporting venue and they've got like the 4 tabs.
Yeah.
And it's like Coors, Miller, Bud, then the local.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll dabble
Try
between.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
I always love going to I don't know about you guys, but going to a restaurant and going, what do you got on draft?
Oh, that's a big power move.
Yeah.
You sound smart.
So and they go, and they turn around and point, and I go, oh, come on, you don't know it off the top of your head? I was a server and I had to know all the draft beers, and I'd list them off.
Archangel says Corona's an Angry Orchard. Do you guys remember the old Red's Apple Ale commercials?
Yeah, with the old guy, I thought he was so scary.
Well, they would throw the apple at someone's head. Is that still in business? I like Sweetwater. I've been to that brewery countless times. I like a good local brewery. Atlanta Dog. True Pence Moonshine. In college, we used to do moonshine cherries. Ziggy, Zaggy, Ziggy, Zoggy, AAA. Matthew, Petey fan. Petey, what is the best Falcons game this upcoming season? I feel like I just got or something. Chiefs, Sunday Night Football at home. Probably that. All right, let's end on this one here. Worst pizza topping? So I asked this question because my fiance is a big pepperoni only person, and we are a bunch of fucking fat fucks in my apartment. So like when we get pizza, she gets a pizza and I get a pizza, and we don't both finish our pizzas. But like I don't want to just have pepperoni. I want a little bit of variety. So I like Hawaiian pizza, and they screwed me over and left off the ham and substitute it with pepperoni, which I get enough pepperoni in my life. What is within reason? If you open your pizza box and they accidentally put that on, what's your meltdown moment?
It's pineapple.
See, like, I like pineapple. Like,
See,
I understand why
everyone in here is saying pineapple.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want pineapple juice getting all over my pizza.
No, I could understand that if you don't like it, why that'd be a nightmare.
Pineapple, maybe?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, if you don't like it, that's a nightmare. For me,
broccoli. Ugh.
That's not even a top. Frequent flyers and pizza toppings. Onions. I like onions on everything else. I don't like them on pizza. They don't belong on pizza.
Onions and peppers on pizza is good.
Blah, blah. No.
I like it.
All right. Boys and girls, let's get some more. Let's just have Reed and I finish off our beer. Start spamming tomatoes. Send a super chat in. Black olive's another good one. I like Hawaiian pizza. I know that's not a popular opinion. I don't give a fuck. I enjoy it. Okay, Jack, Archangel. We got this one from, let's throw this on, Nucci to Don. This will be maybe the last super chat we get, unless we get another one. For all the tomatoes, let me just end with Dallas Turner. I will keep you guys apprised of every single game of his. And if he has a single sack, I will tell you about it. And you will have to live with me reminding you the Falcons maybe should have taken Dallas Turner. Tore up Thursday for you, plus a tomato. Cheers to Nucci. All right. Let's call it a Thursday. Do we all agree? I have served my time. Dallas Turner's not a Falcon. Justin Fields is not a Falcon. Bill Belichick is not a Falcon. Jack, I do agree. If the Falcons, like if Michael Penix went at pick 7 to the Titans, like I think Latu would have been the pick. But regardless, time has served. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And I'll see you all when I'm more sober.